Methinks it is, Portia. Quite a place, n'est-ce pas? They must keep a gardener on full-time salary.
Oh, indeed, Catherine. The Capulets are well-heeled financially. It'll be quite the prize for the one who marries the fair Juliet.
Do you think it will be this young buck Romeo?
Perhaps it will be, for I'm told they are quite smitten with each other. Of course, there is one obstacle.
And what is that?
Romeo is of the house of Montague. Juliet is a Capulet.
If I wanted a man, I would never let a little thing like a family feud thwart me. Nay, I told them that I was mistress of the situation.
Aye, it is easy enough to say, but families have a way of creating more tragedy than our beloved William Shakespeare ever did. That's why I thought I'd drop by to give the immature Juliet the benefit of my legal advice. For it is said, love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind.
Swell stuff, that verse. Your own.
Oh no, they're the words of Helena.
Helena? Do I know her?
You should. She had a Midsummer Night's Dream. She's one of Shakespeare's ladies.
That guy, Willie Shakespeare, had so many girlfriends it's impossible to keep them all in mind.
Aye, he did know the fair sex. Do you remember that horrible Lady Macbeth? And then there's the fair and witty Rosalind.
And have you heard of Desdemona and her handkerchief? And then there's the sorry plight of poor Ophelia.
Aye, poor Ophelia indeed, jilted by Hamlet, the melancholy Dane.
A sour-faced, gloomy man, that Hamlet, given to soliloquies and filled with quotations.
Aye, no wonder poor Ophelia's gone mad.
Mad? This is an understatement. She's as nutty as a Yuletide fruitcake.
But soft, she's coming. Be not harsh with her.
Aye, she's coming. The lady with bats in her belfry. Where am I? Oh, can anybody tell me?
You're in Juliet's garden in Verona.
Juliet's garden. And
Is this the fair Juliet?
oh goodness no. I am Catherine, beloved of Petruchio.
I know you, a shrew.
What are you saying?
Be not afraid, my child. Her bark is worse than her bite.
A quotation. It reminds me of my Hamlet. Alas, poor Hamlet. I knew him well. A fellow of infinite jest. As funny as a crutch.
A most excellent fancy. He has borne me on his back 1,000 times, and now how born in my imagination it is. For Hamlet and the trifling of his favor, holding a fashion and a toy in blood, abideth in the youth of primy nature, forward, not permanent, sweet, not lasting, the perfume and supplements of a minute, no more.
Poor Ophelia.
Nuts, says I.
Haven't you heard of Romeo and Juliet? It is said that they are the rose of romance.
Aye, it is known to everyone except the Montagues and the Capulets.
I have come to warn her of the pitfalls of love. She must not suffer as I have. She must not trust his songs. Oh, if I'd only listen to my brotherly hymn before it's too late.
It is said Romeo is a healthy young chap, full of high spirits and the joy of living. His father is alive, therefore he won't have his father's ghost to get him down as your Hamlet did.
His father's ghost. That did upset my Hamlet to make him do his mother dirt. But I have sworn that Juliet shall not thus suffer. Juliet! Juliet! Who's calling Juliet?
It is Desdemona. She seems distraught, excited. Perhaps something has gone wrong.
Oh yes, something must have happened.
Juliet! Juliet! Portia? Catherine? Ophelia? What brings you to Juliet's garden?
We've come here to offer Juliet advice on the art of love.
Methinks it is a waste of time. Experience is the best teacher.
Another quotation! Did Hamlet say that? Juliet must profit by the experience of others. My experience with Othello.
What happened? Did that tall, dark, and handsome fellow step out on you?
Nay, nay, that is his jealousy, and alas a day I never gave him cause.
But jealous souls are not jealous for the cause, but jealous for they are jealous. Jealousy is a monster begot upon itself, born on itself.
So says my good friend Amelia. If Romeo was jealous, Juliet should not marry him. For love is but a vain and doubtful good. Shining gloss that fades suddenly. A flower that dies when first beginning to bud. A brittle glass that's broken presently.
Let's have done with all this philosophizing and call the maid Juliet and give her the words. Juliet! Juliet!
Who is calling?
Come here and see.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo. Wherefore are you, Romeo? Deny your father and refuse your name, or I will no longer be a Capulet. She's got it bad. Oh, sworn not by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb.
Moon? Why, it's broad daylight. She's raving. Snap her out of it, Portia.
Juliet! Come out of your trance, we would speak to you.
Where am I?
You are among friends, good friends, who have come to bring you counsel.
See? I have brought you flowers. Sweet is sweet. I would have brought you violets, but they all withered when my father died. Sweet Ophelia, I thank you for your gift. Welcome, ladies. Thrice welcome. But tell me, why am I so honored by your presence?
We've heard that you are in love with young Romeo. Is it true?
I, Romeo, the god of my heart, my true love's passion.
Oh, she's off again.
He is not to you while you are in Capulet. It is but his name that is his enemy. What's in a name that which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet? So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes.
But you are wooing tragedy when you disregard parental objection.
Come when sorrow can, I am not afraid.
I see you are determined. So be it. So from these ladies assembled here, you learn the pitfalls to avoid along the pathway of love.
Pitfalls? What do you mean?
In other words, we're going to give you the lowdown on men.
For all of us had experience in plenty. You must not suffer, Julia! Suffer? Love does not bring suffering. You think so? But wait, is your Romeo inclined toward jealousy? Why should my Romeo be jealous? Jealousy must be born upon some reason. You do not know what you say. Jealousy may be born of conjecture without reasoning. Nor is there any reasoning with jealousy. I know what I speak of. Bellow smothers me with his jealous love. Because of your handkerchief? You know? Aye, it is known far and wide, this incident of Desdemona and her pocket linen. It was not of linen, but of silk. An Egyptian charmer gave that handkerchief to Bello's mother. And yet you gave the handkerchief to Cassio. I did not give it to Cassio, I lost the handkerchief.
You should have been more careful with your belongings.
And Cassio found the handkerchief? It was the foul claw of the archvillain Iago. It was he who plotted against me. So if your young Romeo shows the slightest signs of jealousy, marry him not. Well, I have no Cassio with whom to share my thoughts of Romeo. And moreover, I shall always see that my handkerchiefs fall not into the wrong hands.
A handkerchief can cause a hard blow.
I thank you, Desdemona, for your great interest in me, but I profit nothing by your experience with Othello the Moor. And I am certain that Romeo will never attempt to smother me in my bedchamber. But love is merely a madness, deserves as well as a dark house of wind.
And yet I propose to cure your madness by giving you counsel.
And what is your good counsel? I am well aware that the course of true love never did run smooth.
You are angry. Mark you well that a hot temper leaps over a cold decree.
I am listening, Portia. Proceed with counsel.
Are you certain that you love young Romeo?
What do you mean?
Well, have you had any other suitors?
None. Romeo is my first and only love.
Then how can you be certain of your love for him if there is none other to compare to?
Do you have to have a whole bouquet of flowers to be certain of the beauty of one rose?
Oh, that's true, Juliet.
You have had a whole flock of boyfriends. The Neapolitan prince, the county palatine, the French lord Monsieur Le Bon, Falconbridge, the young baron of England, the Scottish lord, his neighbor, Duke of Saxony's nephew, and others.
You've been doing all right for yourself, Portia.
They are fortune hunters, the whole gang of them.
Fortune hunters?
They are after your Mizuma.
Mazuma! I do not know what you mean.
Well, to be literate, they're after your dough. You're a very wealthy woman, Portia, so beware, or they'll take you for every dime of
You
it.
should not worry, Juliet. I do not look in favor of any of them.
But there is one on whom you do look with extreme favor.
Who do you mean?
A Venetian, a scholar, and a soldier, young Bassanio.
You know young Bassanio?
Aye, well, you think that he is different from the rest.
Well, he certainly got what it takes.
You mean that you have got what it takes, and that is long green.
You think that Bassanio is after my wealth?
You said it, Portia, my friend, so go easy. He stumbles to ruins fast, and above all, to threaten himself be true.
It seems to me, Portia, that instead of you giving Juliet advice, you're getting the lowdown.
I don't like it. And do you follow your own instructions in affairs of the heart?
I am in no such dilemma, for there is but one man for me, and he is my Romeo.
But be warned, Juliet, that he is not playing false.
I have no fear. The good Friar Lawrence will wed us in due time.
But after that, Juliet, what does fate hold in store for you?
I think not of the future. I live for today.
But you must think of the future. Look what love has done to me.
But Hamlet did love you once.
I with all his heart.
What made him change his mind?
I don't know. He told me to go to a nunnery, and quickly too.
Did you go?
No, I went that instead.
Well, it was the wiser choice, says I.
Oh, woe is me to see what I have seen, to see what I see.
And what do you see?
A tragic ending for Romeo and Juliet.
Indeed, sweet Ophelia, you are mad. Romeo's mother is not like Hamlet's mother. Nor does my Romeo like talking to ghosts. Nor does he like talking to Yurik's skull. Alas, poor Yurik.
But there still exists the feud between the Montagues and the Capulets.
So what?
It can cause you great sorrow, and don't you say we didn't tip you off.
Once a good Friar Lawrence closes our hands with holy words, what can our families do about it? Give me Romeo, and when he dies, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he shall make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with the night.
Mark you, Juliet, that these violent delights have violent ends.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune,
Or to take arms against a sea of troubles and opposing enmity.
You certainly have a mind of your own, young Juliet.
Aye, Catherine, just as you had before Petruchio tamed you.
Oh, you know about...
The taming of the shrew. Who doesn't?
Well then, Juliet, a word of advice. Never let Romeo get too bossy.
There is no need for your warning, Catherine.
You are headstrong and determined.
Nay, I have but the courage of my convictions, but I am sweet-tempered and mild, and my tongue is sweet with honeyed words. But in your case, if you hadn't been toned down, you would have remained an old maid.
How dare you?
A woman moved is like a fountain troubled. Thick, muddy, ill-seeming, bereft of beauty, and while it is so, none so dry or thirsty will deign sip, or touch one drop of it.
You are telling me in my own words. Go on.
Your husband is your lord, your life, your keeper, your head, your sovereign. I am ashamed that women are so simple to offer war, when they should kneel for peace,
and seek for rule, supremacy, and sway, when they are bound to serve, love, and obey.
Truly, Petruchia tamed a cursed shrew.
It was a wonder she was tamed so.
Well, you don't know Petruchio as I do. What a man.
What is that strange sound that falls upon my ears?
Perchance 'tis my helmet has come back for me!
Not a chance, Feely. That guy's gone forever.
Some strange female approaches.
Looking like a sign of the movies.
I don't even know who she is.
Me neither.
Nay, don't you know who she is?
Nay.
Nay!
'Tis Cleopatra, the serpent of the Nile.
Hi, Julie.
Welcome, Cleopatra. I don't believe you know any of my friends.
Can't say as I do.
Well, this is Ophelia. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day. Tomorrow morning, I've made it to your window to be your Valentine.
Slightly screwy, I take it.
Aye, she was jilted by Hamlet.
Well, I've gone nuts over many a man. It seems to me I heard of your Hamlet. Kind of a gloomy goss, wasn't he?
They called him the melancholy Dane.
Couldn't you snap him out of it? You know, make a little...
Madame!
Too bad I never met him. I'd have waked him up.
A summer virgin you haven't not?
Methinks the lady does protest too much. Who's this?
She is Catherine the Shrew, whom the man Petruchio tamed.
No man's ever tamed me. Yet. But there's a first time for everything. Tell me, Kate, what's it like to have the man wear the pants?
Very satisfying.
I must look up your Petruchio. You came with my man!
Careful, Catherine. Let not jealousy get to the better of you. Remember, it ruined my romance.
Oh. Did you have a jealous guy?
Othello.
Othello. No. I don't think he's ever been on my list. But still, I'm not very good at remembering names. Only faces. What does he look like?
He's tall, dark, and handsome.
I couldn't tell by that. I have so many of that kind.
And this is Portia.
You look like a lawyer. A doctor of laws. I may need you in my business. My Antony is gone. I got myself married. And I have a darn good notion to sue him for his breach of promise. After I'm through with Shylock, look me up and we'll talk it over. I'll do that little thing. And now, Julie, what's all this gossip I hear about you?
I do not know what you mean.
You know well what I speak of. They say you've got a boyfriend, and that your romance is sizzling.
My Romeo.
Is that his name?
Aye, and such a sweet name.
Not bad. Sounds full of romance and things. What does he look like?
He has a lean cheek, blue eyes. He is tall, handsome, graceful. He's constant, loving, true, and devotion itself. He has the soul of a poet.
the fire of a musician, the bravery of a soldier, and every requisite of a great lover.
Where did you ever meet such a man?
Here in Verona.
I must come here more often. Still, aren't you a little young to be mixed up with a guy like that?
Age is counted not by calendar years, but by wisdom.
Well, I'm much wiser than you because I've had a lot more experience. I can tell you plenty about men.
If you are so wise, then how come you lost the gorgeous Antony? Your technique must be faulty, Cleo.
Why, I am the Siren of the Nile. Men quake, quail before me.
Perhaps that's your full trouble.
I don't get you.
You are too sure of yourself, too forceful, too domineering. Men like to feel that they're the superior woman. They like to suppose that they're the master sex. You need a Petruchio to tame you. And how?
But I am the Queen of Egypt.
And you would never let Antony forget it.
I think you've got something there.
In truth I have. So the next time you let an Antony into your life, forget that you were a queen and remember that you were first a woman. And another thing, stop being a siren. Men do not like a woman who has playing around qualities.
Then you could never cast a roving eye at anyone but Romeo.
Never. Romeo is my first, last, and only love. I am determined that the romance of Romeo and Juliet shall go down as the most perfect romance of all time.
But about the ending?
We shall end our romance together.
Will it be a tragic end?
Some may think so, but to us, it will be an ideal culmination.
I made the trip all the way from Egypt to give you lessons of love. And I wound up getting a few myself. You cannot teach a child Juliet anything. All of us have found that out.
But, at any rate, it's been a charming afternoon, and all's well that ends well. When shall we six meet again?
In thunder, lightning, or rain. In the hurly-burly sun.
When the battle's lost or won. If our Shakespeare we've offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here while these visions did appear. Scholars do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend all the liberties we took with Master Willie Shakespeare's book. For really, we have studied hard all the phrases of the bard, and this, our joke, though indiscreet, is really what might happen should Shakespeare's ladies meet.